This is Cannabis Growers Radio, your source of insights, tips, and secrets from the leaders in the world of cannabis and hemp. Now, here is your host, Tracy Kawahau.
Today's guest is Ed Gibson. Ed is a professional grower living down in Oklahoma, taking advantage of the new upswing that's going on down there. Ed has a lot of great advice, a lot of insight, and what I really like, he's got a great heart. He's here not only to help the industry, but help other growers. I hope you enjoy today's interview. Welcome into Cannabis Growers Radio. Today's guest is Ed Gibson, and we're here in Oklahoma City. And we'll introduce you to him and find out a little bit about his past and what he thinks about growing cannabis out here in Oklahoma. So Ed, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about your past, about how you got started in this industry and where you've been growing.
I guess probably like just about every grower, I started underground. We're in places that weren't legal, and so I got my expertise there, I guess. I started in 2001, was the first time that I planted a plant. So I'm not 20 years or anything, but I've grown seriously for 10 of those 20 years. And I've grown in basements where I had to hide from landlords to I've grown here in a grow operation here in Oklahoma, and I built the whole thing from bottom to start or start to finish. And that's why today I'm a quality grow consultant. I help people set up their private grows in their homes and teach them how to grow quality medicine so that they don't have to depend on the expensive dispensaries or the questionable practices of growers. So they have more control over their own medication, and that's kind of my goal, is to make sure that everybody has a quality product out here.
That's excellent. And from your experience, it's important that they get this guidance and this wisdom on how to create quality grows.
Oh, absolutely. Because people, in this industry, there is a lot of money that flies around, and people get consumed by what I call green fever, and they take shortcuts and they just do things. So people are better off growing on their own. They really are.
Excellent. So is there like particular strains that you're more favorable of, or?
My favorite is Alien OG. It's a nice combination that fits me personally. There's hundreds of them out there that I've tried, and Blue Dream is a nice one. Girl Scout Cookies is a nice one. Gorilla Glue is a nice one. I like about all of them. They all have good purposes. They all have good things that they do. I personally suffer from PTSD, and I have issues that it does take care of. I know from personal experience that marijuana is a outstanding medicine for many different ailments out here, and I just want to make sure that people are getting quality stuff now.
So when you say quality stuff, so it's your feeling that if people aren't careful, there's growers that, or at least even people starting out, if they're not aware of the principles of growing, that they could just get into like some kind of fast money, just turn the buck without. And what are the ramifications of that if people are just out burning people?
Well, I understand. Everybody, they've invested big money in it, and they're expecting to get that money back. But in this business, it takes passion to grow this plant. You have to really understand the nuances of the plant to get it to do what you want it to do. And when people watch a YouTube video and think that they know how to grow, and they'll just make mistakes, and in the interest of making fast money, they'll harvest crops early, or they'll there's a lot of things that can be done that would be done in the interest of making money today fast, that's ultimately going to cost the business in the end, because rushing things is not possible in this business. What you steal from today, you're stealing from your future. You cannot make up for time that you've lost. If you didn't plant something, you ain't going to be able to gain it. Well, when people start sending out this premature medicine, it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. And I highly recommend, buyer beware, that every person in Oklahoma especially, because it's so new and it's the Wild West out here, we have to self-regulate, or the state is going to regulate us out of existence. And the only way that can happen is if the buyers, the patients, go into the dispensaries with eye loops and they look close at the product to make sure that there's no bug carcasses in it, to make sure that there's no powdery mildews down in it, and don't let them call it snow. If it's got white in that bud, it's not good, and you don't need to be smoking it. Look for your Auburn trichomes, because they're there, and you can see that it was a mature plant and it was cured properly. Know your medicine, because these people are just after money. And like I say, I understand they got to get their money back, but not at the cost of a patient's health. I honestly think there's a big problem that can be prevented, but it's going to grow if we don't stop it now.
Yeah, and I think the principle of quality and the principle of ethics is like, yeah, you can make money, and yeah, everybody wants to make money, but like you're saying, I just think the idea of having an ethical grow, because that's something that can go into the future.
Yes.
It's interesting what you're saying. I don't know how many people I've met that say just what you just said. It's like, well, I've watched a lot of videos, I've read all the books, and they'll tell you all the authors. I've read all these books, but and they're starting out. But let me ask you this, Ed. I haven't asked you this before or anything, but because you're able to help people, family grows, and you are a consultant. If people contacted you, would you be able to do your services over the mail or over the phone?
Absolutely. Anybody can email me anytime at Ed Gibson, that's EDGIBSON 1965 @gmail.com, and I'll answer anybody's questions.
Excellent. No, well, I really appreciate that for our growers, because it's just something that I've seen so many people, and they're so excited. You know, they want to get into it. They want to grow quality products. They're excited, and I love that enthusiasm. But what's important to me as an old man and as someone who's been in business for a long time is that they don't get burned, that they don't go down that wrong road. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Or
green
they get
fever.
Yeah, or get caught up with all the. And you can talk to this. Let me ask you this: in this industry, is there a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense, that people believe in just because it's a brand or it's just something? It's kind of like, well, this is a cannabis company or whatever it is. Do you see there's a problem with that?
Yeah, I think that it's pretty much a practice that people, this is just right off the top of my head, you said a common misconception. Everybody thinks that neem oil is a good solution to spider mites. What they need to realize is it may kill off one generation of spider mites, but their nits, their eggs, hatch, and those are almost immune to neem oil. So the next time you spray neem oil, those are just knocked out and they're dormant, and so you never really get rid of them. You can just control them down. And so the buds are going to have these dead carcasses all in them because they didn't use. I've come across a product called Impede, the letter M like Mary, PEDE, and it is a 100% biodegradable product. It's a insecticidal soap. On contact, destroys nits and the insects, and I highly recommend that one.
Well,
so
that's cool.
Weekly treatment.
But that, like you're saying, so there's people that, because it's in a book or because people talk about it, and because there's not a lot of communication, and that's why I'm all about communication, relationships and fellowships, and because it's kind of like, well, then this is what everybody's. I saw it in a cannabis magazine. I saw it, so then obviously I got to buy it, or obviously I got to do it. So, and this is the kind of stuff without the experience, people don't know it.
Well, I'm first going to tell you, George Cervantes and Ed Rosenthal are my mentors. I've read books after books. So
that's cool.
That's when I started, and I really do stick to their programs.
Cool.
But there are nuances. When your leaves start turning brown on the tips and doing things, it just isn't explained. I like to tell people there's 1,000 ways to grow cannabis. And there's one right way to grow cannabis, and none of us know it. We're all learning, and we're getting closer to that one right way to grow cannabis, but nobody has it all figured out. And so we all need to come together, hold each other accountable to a quality product, help each other to make the best and really share this information, show the world what open source really can do.
Yeah.
And we can really change things in this world. Oklahoma has an opportunity right now, but if we don't self-regulate, the state's going to ruin it all. They're going to take it all from us.
Great. Well, Ed, I want to appreciate a few minutes you've given us today, and we'll put your contact information on the podcast. And thank you for being here.
Anytime.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. If you enjoyed today's show and want to know how you can help us get the news out to other professional cannabis and hemp growers, please give us a 5-star rating and, of course, subscribe on your favorite platform. As always, I want to give a special shout out to all you passionate growers that have dedicated your lives to constantly improve cannabis, hemp, and the products we get from them. You are the reason we are here. So thanks so much. And until next time, stay curious.